Welcome to our Digital Wax Museum. We would like to thank our teacher, Mrs. Dillow, for helping us research these biographies and type our paragraphs.
We would also like to thank Mrs. Decker for teaching us how to use the Morfo 3D Booth app and for showing us how to make it in.
I'm KWC. I was born on December 19, 1875 in New Canton, Virginia. I am credited for pioneering the celebration of Black History Month. I hope you enjoy meeting the other famous people here at our Wax Museum today.
I am Colin Powell. I was born on April 5, 1937 in Harlem, New York. I am famous because I was the first African American to be chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, Secretary of State, and I was assistant to the President of the United States. America is better because my soldiers helped our country stay free and safe.
I am Frederick Douglass. I was born a slave in 1818 in Maryland. One of my master's wives taught me how to read. I escaped slavery and was able to become a free man. I am honored and respected as an African American abolitionist because I fought for the end of slavery.
I am Benjamin Banneker. I was born on November 9, 1731, not into slavery in Maryland. My dad taught me how to take care of the farm. I grew tobacco and corn. Also, I taught myself school and taught younger kids reading and math. I am famous for being a mathematician, astronomer, almanac author, surveyor, and farmer.
I am Sojourner Truth, but my given name was Isabel. I spoke against slavery. I was forced to marry Thomas, an older slave. Abraham Lincoln freed the slaves when he was president. One day, I found out that my son Peter was being sold to another slave owner. I went to court to win Peter back and won. Later, I changed my name to Sojourner Truth. I picked Sojourner because it meant traveler, and I traveled to speak against slavery and spoke for women's rights. I am Mary Anderson. I was born on February 27, 1997 in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. When I was cleaning houses for people, I heard singing in the window. I was trained to sing at church. I was the first African American opera singer in New York.
I am Booker T. Washington. I was born on April 5th, 1856 in Halesford, Virginia. I was born a slave and had a brother named James and a sister named Amanda. At age of 9, I was set free. But I went to the Free Slave School in Halesford, Virginia. I inspired people by standing up for equal rights.
I'm George Washington Carver. I was born a slave around 1864 in Diamond Grove, Missouri. After the Civil War, I got to go to school for farming. I helped other farmers grow their crops, taught how to grow peanuts, and how to help so bugs will not get their cotton. I became a famous scientist.
I am Madam C.J. Walker. I was born in 1867 in a small cabin. I knew that African Americans' hair was not strong, so one day I designed hair soap for them. I was a pioneer businesswoman. Madam C.J. Walker helped make hair styling easier for many women. I am Gabby Douglas. I was born on December 31st, 1995 in Virginia Beach, Virginia.
I am the first African American woman to ever win the golden in both of the individual and all around the competitions at the same Olympics in 2012.
I am Thurgood Marshall. I was born on July 2nd, 1908, and lived in Baltimore, Maryland. I studied law and became a lawyer. I defended people because they didn't have equal rights. I became famous because I was the first African American to become a United States Supreme Court Justice.
I am Mary McLeod Bethune. I was born on July 10, 1875 in Maysville, South Carolina. I was a slave with my parents and my 16 other brothers and sisters. I was famous because I fought for the rights of African American women. As an educator and a civil rights I am Zoe Neal Hurston. I was born on January 7, 1891. I was the middle child, took music lessons, and was homeschooled by my mom. I was a really good writer and went to college. I was famous for being a novelist and short story writer. I'm Jesse Owens. I was born on September 12, 1913 in Oakville, Alabama. I was the first American to win 4 gold medals at the 1936 Olympics for track and field. I became a hero for many Americans' youth. I am Langston Hughes. I was born on February 1st, 1902 in Joplin, Missouri. I was the leader of the 1920s Harlem Renaissance. My poetry and novels were about the lives of working-class blacks in America. I had strong opinions about politics and wrote about that as well. I am Bessie Coleman. I went to Langston University and became the first African American woman to have a pilot's license. I did stunt flying shows and dreamed of opening a flight school, but I died too soon in a plane crash at age 34. I am Garrett Morgan. I was born on March 4th, 1877 in Paris, Kentucky. I worked at a sewing machine place and invented a new sewing machine. I sold a hair straightening cream for African Americans and got money for it. I invented a safety hood for firefighters to wear. I am Harriet Tubman. I am famous because I escaped slavery and brought 300 slaves to Pennsylvania with me so they could have freedom. I developed a passage to freedom called the Underground Railroad. The railroad wasn't actually a railroad, but a secret way for slaves to escape.
I am Jackie Robinson. I was born on January 31st, 1919 in Georgia. I am famous because I was the first African American to be on a major league baseball team. I became the first baseman for the Brooklyn Dodgers in 1947.
I am Ruby Bridges. I was born on September 8, 1954 near Tylertown, Mississippi. When I was a little girl, schools were segregated. Then a law changed and I had to switch schools. The government picked 4 African American girls to go to an all-white school and I was picked. I became famous because I was one of the first African Americans to go to an all-white school.
I am Louis Armstrong.
I was born on August 4th, 1901. I became a famous jazz composer, singer, and trumpet player. I was one of the first African American entertainers to cross over music types. I had a busy tour schedule all over the world for 40 years.
I am Rosa Parks. In December 1955, on a ride home from work, I refused to give up my seat to a white man. I went to jail. Many African Americans thought the law was unfair and stopped riding the bus. This began the civil rights movement